Good morning. Working on a graduation cap today. I've got 3 different types of flowers. Cone heads. I don't know what these are. Kind of a wildflower, and some strawberry flowers. So let's try tooling out this wildflower. So I have not cut in the center. I did mark it, but I'm not going to cut it. I'm just going to shade around it with just my vertical line thumbprint. Just kind of get an idea of where the center is. Walk some shading out towards the center. I'm just walking the thumbprint around the marked circle so I can get just a general idea of where that center exists. But I don't want to hard cut it. A lot of times we do and mark those certain ways. This one I don't want to because I'm going to finish the center with a different tool. Not with my knife or anything. You'll see. Probably not today, you'll see, but eventually. So I'm just creating some shading around the center. And getting a good mark of where that center exists. And a lot of times when you're doing your centers, you don't want to go over this petal line. Well, I'm going to come back in and bevel that anyway, so get a different amount of depth with how hard you hit your tool. Just keep working around. And if it doesn't say perfectly center, you know, it's a nature thing. It's close. That's how nature happens, right? Actually, none of these flower centers on this piece are going to be marked with a traditional flower center. If you don't know what a flower center looks like, an example, here's 2 examples I use quite a bit, where you just punch those in where the flower center should be. And I like those ones. I'm just not going to use them. So now I got all the centers shaded, and I'll work on the petals. So these little bits are behind that part of it, kind of tuck under there. And if I have a small enough thumbprint, oh, sorry, I should have changed the orientation on my camera. Sorry. I'm getting this in long instead of sideways. Portrait instead of landscape. The leather I'm tooling on is a Wickett Craig russet tooling. This is 6/7 ounce. Now this petal goes below this petal, so I'll bevel that. It'll look a little better, but I can also make it kind of dark where this one is. And then there's going to be right there, there's a little indent that I'll hit later with the lifter. So I'm just going to ease around here and just get my outside highlighted ridge marked. That's how Joe says it. And then work on my depth. It's probably a little more work than I should do, but I like the result, so that's the way it'll be. And then on this side, so see I'm tipping this thumbprint towards you. I am shading before I bevel. I've kind of gotten to where I like to do that better than beveling then shading, just because I go back and re-bevel so much that it really was becoming tedious. So can you see now that this little part kind of looks like it sticks up, and when you rub your hand over it, it does, but it looks more than exists. I'm just going to soften that just a little. And then repeat 4 more times. I've got a smaller size one here. Probably fits in here just a little better. I was asked the other day, how come thumbprint instead of pear shader? No real reason other than that's what I started using and I like it. So just keep using it and then you get comfortable with it. And I've got a variety of pear shaders. I don't care to use them. So again, kind of tip it out. Always try to keep your lines pointed towards the center of the flower. Okay, 2 petals done. Try to smooth that out a little bit. So I usually hit this whooped out part a little harder so it looks a little deeper. And then this part that swoops in, hit that lighter so it looks like it comes up. And then you get where that part looks a little higher. It'll look good when we get the lifter in there. So a lifter like this. That'll just help you kind of see. Then it makes it look like it sticks up a little further. So anyway, I'll finish this flower. It's shading real quick. Hang tight. And now that flower's shaded. And the next one, I'll bevel it, and then we've got to do the center and some decorative cuts, and that flower will be done.